doing so much for people, especially those who are most in need here in the city of Patterson especially. First, I want to thank everyone who actually came out to celebrate this day, because this is the 50th year that Roberto Clemente, one, had passed away in service, but also it's also 50 years that he's been in the Hall of Fame. We would like to talk a little bit about that, because a lot of folks, when you say Roberto Clemente, they think of baseball, which is a fact. Roberto Clemente is one of the greatest players of all time. He's been, given 12 Golden Gloves and so many other accomplishments within baseball, but he is so much more than just a baseball player. So that said, on this day when we recognize the exceptional life of Roberto Clemente, it's important to acknowledge that earlier in the week we honored Dr. Martin Luther King. I recently learned about the friendship between Roberto Clemente and Dr. King, and I would like to share the story with you. King was one of Clemente's greatest heroes. The two icons actually spent time together at Clemente's ranch outside of Carolina, Puerto Rico. Clemente even placed Martin Luther King Jr. atop his list as one of his heroes. As the Pulitzer Prize winning author David Martinez wrote in his masterpiece called Clemente. What Clemente admired most about King was not his philosophy of nonviolence, but his ability to give voice to the voiceless. Both men lived and died in the service of others. King was assassinated on April 4th, 1968 in Memphis, where he was supporting the striking sanitation workers. In his last speech, he mentioned that he was told that there was a threat to his life, but that didn't stop him from going to Memphis to give his speech. Clemente also gave voice to the voiceless. In 1971, the Afro-Puerto Rican legend was the first person to speak Spanish on a national televised English broadcast in the United States. He directed his message to his parents after the Pirates won the 1971 World Series, asking them to bless him. He regularly used the time on the national media platform, like MLK did, to speak about segregation and injustice. He protested in the 60s against racial inequalities towards black and brown minorities, and even within the baseball league. In 1968, he also spoke up for his teammates. Roberto Clemente was torn when he heard of Dr. Martin Luther King's death. Clemente organized 11 other black players and led them in a demand for the baseball league to pause the opening day until after King's funeral. Clemente insisted against playing until after King's funeral to give reverence and homage to the late Dr. King. The Pirates and Astros ultimately didn't start the 1968 season until after that, on April 10th. Clemente continued to speak up and help others throughout his career. Unfortunately, he was also a victim of tragedy. Like Dr. King, Clemente also was advised of the dangers of taking what we now know to be his last flight. But he decided to continue his mission like MLK because of the need to be of greater service. He died on New Year's Eve, 1972, on a relief mission to deliver supplies to earthquake victims in Nicaragua. His cargo plane crashed into the ocean off of the coast of San Juan, Puerto Rico, soon after takeoff due to severe weather storms. Clemente was only 38 when he died, only 1 year younger than Martin Luther King when he was assassinated. The similarities between these two great American icons is striking, and today we especially honor the sacred memory of Roberto Clemente and for his fearless pursuit of justice and assistance for the least among us. May we all be inspired by Roberto Clemente, who will live in our hearts forever. With that, I would like to just say that it's encouraging to see people ask questions about Roberto Clemente. Today, we have our team, and I want to thank everyone who volunteered to help out. You see some of the decorations, flag, and the banner from Liga Roberto Clemente that we started this year, and also some newspaper clippings from way back when that are up for your view, that you can view and take pictures next to. But that being said, let's keep encouraging one another to learn more about our history, and let's make it available, readily available our youth. We're going to show a short video before we have some dignitaries and some special guests speak. We'd like to show a short video, if you don't mind. Pay attention to the screen behind me. It's about an 8-minute clip.
This is 1 hour.
You gotta watch the commercial first.